Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Scorpio for the rest of May. Do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Scorpio, let's go ahead and see what we have coming forward for you here for this mid-May updates. Do hope your month of May has been going well, and I hope it ends on an even better note for you here, Scorpio. Okay, we'll get everything out. We'll get all the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. Okay. And I think that's looking just about good enough to me for right now. Energy on the bottom, Scorpio, is the Two of Cups. Taking a peek at the cards here, it does feel like there's a pretty significant romantic story or love story that is present for some of the people that are here. The Two of Cups is probably my favorite love card. It's like two souls in this lifetime linking up together. And this is like a very, you could say like karmic or destined sort of union, right? Whether or not you end up together is one thing, but the simple act of meeting this person was going to happen, right? It's this sort of like, you had to meet this person, right? And the Two of Cups, it can indicate like finding like harmony actually in relationships. So when you get this card, you really have to blend it with other cards. Now for the people here that are not here for love, right? So if you're here for other topics, this can connect to your relationship or your partnerships to people. Like some of you may be going into partnership with somebody on a business. Some of you may be partnering on other people in a work context or something like this. This can also refer to like your alliances, right? Like the alliances that you have in life. In particular, one like key alliance that you may have in your situation. So let's try to kind of dive deeper on this topic and see what may be going on here for you. Overall, you have a really nice reading here. At least you have a very nice set of original 9 cards. A bunch of cards that I love to see. It does seem like some of you are very close to finishing something out, okay? There's a bit of a test from the universe here that is showing up in your situation right now. And we're going to talk about that quite a bit, but let's just dive in the middle of the spread here. You do have the Ace of Swords, Scorpio. So the Ace of Swords is a card you always like to see. This can talk about victory, right? You can see the crown here on the sword. This can indicate like there's some type of victory that's showing up for you in your life that feels very good. It feels very pleasant. It feels very due for you when you get the Ace of Swords, okay? This can also indicate like a new beginning or a victory that is born out of a new beginning. So any sort of new thing that you're starting can be quite successful with the Ace of Swords. You may also kind of have you actually have 2 cards here of an epiphany, actually, or some sort of like breakthrough that you're having here, particularly in your mindset, like in your mental space. There may be some sort of like breakthrough in thinking, breakthrough in thought. You may see something in a new way, in a new light here, and this could open some things up for you. I am kind of getting like a this idea of like innovation or doing something differently, break free type of energy here is kind of something that I'm seeing on this reading for sure at this time. With the Two of Cups and the Ace of Swords, I do like this for new love here in the tarot. I definitely like this for new love. It does feel like there's this feeling of maybe being inspired when you're around this person, or this person's inspired by you. Here with the Ace of Swords and the Two of Cups, this person could sort of come in and be a disruptor, like, wow, I never really viewed the situation in this way, And that can be the case for people here for love or in other partnerships and like unions that you have in your life. Somebody may come in and like really kind of like enlighten you in a certain way, or you may also be acting as that person. In the first column, you do have the Judgment card, you have the Eight of Swords, and the Lovers card. So there's a lot to unpack here. Both the Judgment card and the Ace of Swords really can indicate epiphanies. Okay, you can actually see the people here on the Judgment card. They're coming out of the coffin and they're having like a breakthrough or an epiphany about something. This is like I say, this is like the final boss in the tarot. Okay, this is like a test from the universe, you could say, because it comes right before you complete something huge, right? This is the second to last card in the Major Arcana. So it could mean that you're really on the precipice of completing something big here. Like you're at the edge of completion here around something. This can also indicate awakening, right? Like the people here in the coffin, they're not only having an epiphany, they're like sort of being awakened. And the idea with the Judgment card, it's a big card of karma. Okay, so like basically when this card's present in a reading, you may see the results of your action in real time. Like, okay, back in January, I took this action, and now here we are in May, and this is the result. And it may feel like, whoa, there may be this like just like breakthrough that you're having, this like strike of insight, okay, foresight with the Judgment card and the Ace of Swords. Like, wow, I'm really glad I did this, or whatever. Now, what's interesting is with the Eight of Swords, this can bring up fear, okay? It may feel like you're trapped in something. And there is another sort of like thread in this reading around being trapped, okay? Or like not, like kind of like not moving on something with the Eight of Swords, and then we'll talk about the other card here in the future. But the Eight of Swords here, feeling trapped, and I think that this is really connected about like initiating something new or completing something. It depends on where you are, because we have this idea of a completion in a few ways here on this reading, being very close, and then we also have subsequently starting something. So if you're not starting something, this may be derived from some sort of fear that you have about beginning, or maybe even like, oh, will I really be successful? As we look at the Ace of Swords, indicating success. If I do this, will it really work out? Will I really be successful in this new endeavor or this new relationship or whatever it is? So there may be this like internal feeling here about like being a little bit trapped. It could also be connected to situations from the past, Scorpio, that you've had that are kind of like still in your unconscious and your subconscious, like that are still stuck there, and you're kind of like thinking about. You then have the Lovers card, which does indicate a choice in relationships, a very important choice. If it's not in relationships, it's an important choice in life that you want to make, that you're thinking about. And again, going back to this Eight of Swords here, maybe there's a little bit of hesitancy in making the choice, or there's something that's preventing you from actually deciding to go forward with something. In the middle column, you have the Star card, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Wands, okay? So I love the Star card. It's one of my favorite cards. It's really, it could indicate that you're sort of like in front of people, you're in the starlight, okay? So in the limelight sort of deal. It's one of my social media cards. I don't know really how that connects to this one, other than you may be communicating as you have this Ace of Swords. But the Star is really about your wish fulfillment in life. Okay, you've cast a wish out to the universe. It could be returning home to you when you have the Star card. Okay, the thing is, I would like to see it like either in the middle or the lower, because I typically, this upper row is like thoughts for me. So there's probably something, some wish, some manifestation, however you want to like word it, that you can see in your mind. Okay, in the mind space, you can see it. And I like that for you, Scorpio, because the simple act of seeing something means that it can happen. The simple act of seeing something means that there is a timeline, there's a path to that actually becoming real. So the Star is ultimately a very, very positive card for wishes, dreams, goals, visions coming in, like returning home to you. And it also is a card of recovery. It's a good card of healing. You know, if you've been dealing with health challenges, you may connect to the right doctor, health practitioner, whatever the case may be, routine here with that card as well. I almost feel like I'm getting this idea of fate as well. And as I look at the Judgment card and the Star card, like I get this idea of like sort of some sort of like higher fate that you have or higher destiny. Okay, we don't have the Wheel of Fortune, but I'm getting that. Okay, with the Judgment card and the Star, and it's around this choice. Like you feel like there's a fated choice or decision here with the Lovers. We'll try to dive into that further as we go into the clarification section. But you then have the Ten of Wands, which is typically a completion in the tarot. It does indicate that some of you are working very hard on something. You can see that they're carrying the wands here. And usually in a different illustration, the wands are on their back and they're going uphill, indicating like some very hard work. But it's ultimately a card that builds knowledge, strength, and wisdom. So through having these experiences right now, you are becoming wiser, right? More knowledgeable, all sorts of things like that. So as this connects into the Judgment card, you can see the finish line for sure, for sure. There's something that you very clearly can see here in your mind, Scorpio, with the Judgment and Star card. It may be the finish line may be closer than you think, as the Ten of Wands is in the lower row here. Okay, something that you can't see or hidden. It may be closer than you think. In the final column, you do have the Strength card, the Hanged Man, and the Knight of Cups. Okay. I would say that this is really not a time to play it small. Okay, this is a time to go big. Certainly not a time to have reservation about this situation. Okay, because the Strength card is all about bravery. It's all about strength. It's about powering through something. And the Eight of Swords is sort of like the opposite, where you're succumbing to fear and you feel like you can't get out of it. Strength card is number 8. It is the Leo card. Okay, it's the opposite, right? It is all about standing strong and going for something and being fearless. It is quite literally the opposite of the Eight of Swords. It is being fearless as you tackle something, as you approach something. So it's really not a time to play small. It's not a time to give up on something, particularly as you have this ending, or, you know, this could be about relationship stuff. So I said it a little bit earlier in this reading that there is this sort of like, so there's this thread here around inaction or fear. With the Eight of Swords and then also the Hanged Man. Okay, so the Hanged Man is afraid of what is below them. They're hanging on this post. They don't know what is below them. They're afraid to embrace the unknown. The Death card, the card which comes after the Hanged Man, is like embracing the unknown. Okay, so there's a little bit of a situation here where the cards are asking you to embrace the unknown, for sure. Finally, you do have the Knight of Cups, which is nice in your love situation. I do think if you're waiting on somebody's decision or whatever, or somebody may be waiting on yours, this could happen for sure with the Knight of Cups, the Lover's card, the Two of Cups, Ace of Swords. Why don't we go ahead? Let's get into the clarification portion here of this reading, and we'll start off by pulling some oracle cards for you. Okay. Let's see here. Energy on the bottom, you do have light. Okay, this is the Sun card in this Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. Perfect card to find. It's all about optimism and positivity, happiness, and satisfaction, success. It's the best card to find. It really is. So when you get the Sun card or the Light card in this deck, it's always a sign that things are going well, okay, for you. Okay, this is a very interesting combination. Okay, very strong combination here. Third eye chakra and intuition. Your third eye chakra is your spiritual foresight. It is your intuition. Okay, it is the chakra connected to that. Your psychic visions, your dreams, your intuition, your spiritual knowing. And you have the intuition card. This is the High Priestess. Okay, so there's something that you feel, and I was talking about this. There's something that you see. Okay, here with the Star card and the Judgment card. It feels fated, and it's probably connected to this choice. I feel like saying that you're not going to make the wrong choice. Yeah, I feel like most of the times in life there are really no wrong choices, even if the choice leads to something that's unpleasant. It's the choice that was going to be made. You have victory and success, Six of Wands. Okay, that's nice. I'd like to see that for you. You then have the Triumph, Sacral Chakra, and Material Harvest. There's definitely an opportunity to enjoy. The Sacral Chakra connects to your like sexual energies, your creative energies. And so I definitely think that there's like a nice romantic situation here. If that's something that you're wanting to bring in, you may have an opportunity to sort of like power up your sacral chakras. Material Harvest and Triumph. Well, I will say that there's definite signs of success. We started this with the Ace of Swords, a card of success. And then you have this Light card, Triumph card, Victory and Success. This seems to be pretty well manifested for you. So why don't we go ahead and let's get into the tarot clarifications. Now, Scorpio, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And I hope things are going well for you. All right. All right, let's see what we have here. You have the Three of Wands, okay? You have the Ace of Pentacles, another ace here for you, and the Nine of Wands. Yep. All right, Nine of Wands, very similar to the Judgment card. Very similar cards in that this person needs to, the Nine of Wands person, they need to fight through and hit the Ten of Wands. And when I say hit the Ten of Wands, I mean cross the finish line. This person's crossed the finish line. This person has not yet. Okay, so Nine of Wands, again, you're like on the edge of something, you're at the precipice of something, you're very close to something, closing out, particularly as the Judgment card's here. And I think that this is kind of all leading back to the Lovers, which don't worry if you're not here for love, it's leading back to a choice that you have to make. And it feels for you, maybe mentally, maybe intuitively, that this is fated in some way. A destined choice. What's interesting is, again, the Ace of Pentacles clarifying the Eight of Swords, there's hesitancy, or you're hesitant in initiating this new beginning, or closing something out. It's basically there. Like I almost see you with the Magician energy. I would not be surprised to see the Magician, in that you have everything available. Like everything's available to just finish something, or close something, or start something, wherever you are. It's all there for you to do this. It's just a matter of doing it. Okay? You then have the Three of Wands, which can really indicate growth and expansion into something. And it really says that you could be ready to set path on a new journey or adventure in your life. It's a nice card of growth and expansion into something, as well as adventure, as you get really close to finishing something up, finishing something. I think these two things are happening kind of simultaneously, or these things are happening simultaneously, right? So you have a choice. To kind of recap here, you have a choice. This choice will lead to something finally closing out, and at the same time, a new beginning. Okay, this is what it feels like. And as you get that new beginning, as you make this choice, you can expand into this in a pretty big way. You have the Knight of Swords, you have the Justice card, and the Hanged Man again. Major resistance around just finishing it. Okay? Major resistance here around just finishing it. Eight of Swords, Hanged Man twice. Hanged Man, Eight of Swords. Okay, so there's resistance. It could be just done pretty quickly, but for whatever reason, that's not happening. And it's just part of where you are right now, and that's not wrong. It's simply showing up in the cards here. The Justice card is pretty decent as well for you, because basically the Justice card says that we all get the outcome we deserve. Okay, it's karma. Karma is just actions. So how do you want the scale to tip? You know, this is all easier said than done. You know, putting it into practice is much harder than saying it. But like, in which way do you want the scales to tip? Because you're in the driver's seat here. Like, you really are. So what choice will you make? And how will that choice affect kind of the karmic scales, you could say, or how will that choice in this case affect your fate, your destiny? Where would you be going from here? So with the Knight of Swords and the Star card, I think that the Knight of Swords really can indicate speed or quick energy happening. Something very, very quick happening in the tarot. And that's connected to the Star card in this case, which is your dreams, which I like. You have the Four of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. Well, there's another 10 here. Okay, so we've got another 10 paired with a 9 and the Judgment card. So the completion's happening for sure. Okay. Actually, I don't always do this, but I want to actually. Okay. So with the Queen of Swords and the Ten of Swords, that's interesting because Two of Cups. There's like a situation like connected to your romantic life that's very close to you. And the cards may suggest that you go in a new direction. Okay, you close something out, but you go in a new direction here, Scorpio. You'll have to let me know. I felt like the love stuff was good. It still may be. It still might be. But there's an interesting completion here around that. You'll have to let me know how what's going on or how this is going for you. And for others of you, you know, it took a while in the reading to get here, but this choice that you have to make may be connected to moving or traveling in some way. That won't be for everyone, but it could also be about like the Knight of Wands can connect to business in that you might be a jack of all trades. So some of you may want to like start a new business or something like this. But it could be connected to travel or just changing your residence, as the Knight of Wands is really heavy in that, and maybe going for it. That's not an easy thing to do as well. So Four of Cups is sort of just like, again, being in limbo here. And I think that is with the Strength card. So that's one of those energies that the cards are saying work through, or something that you can work through. Six of Pentacles, again, scale here. Where do you want the scales to tip in your situation? You're in the driver's seat here, Scorpio, for sure. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what is happening here in the Kipper energies to close this out. There's one card in particular that I'm looking for here, and we'll see if it shows up. If it shows up, I will tell you. Okay, that's not it, but it's a good card. You have Pathway, Toil and Labor, Community, Despair, Adjudication, and Journey is almost it. That's almost it. And we don't have it on the bottom either. But I was actually looking for the Change card, but you also do have House, and there it is. Okay, two more cards. That's the one I was looking for here. So this is the card for, I think, a lot of people. You can see like bags packed, cards ready to go. This person's moving. Okay, some of you are moving, especially with House. Journey is a card indicating travel. This may be a change in residence. Some of you buying or selling or purchasing or renting a new house, something like this here. And there's like a very spiritual sort of like line in this reading with this Pathway card connected to this fated choice that you're maybe working through. So this is what I have. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.